body fat. The complaints alleged that they had sustained skin, liver, and respiratory injuries due to their work at Groom, and that this had contributed to the deaths of Frost and Kaiser. The suit sought compensation for the injuries, claiming the Air Force had illegally handled toxic materials and the EPA had failed in its duty to enforce the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, which governs handling of dangerous materials. They had sought detailed information about the chemicals, hoping that this facilitate the medical treatment of survivors. Congressman Lee H. Hamilton, former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, told 60 Minutes reporter Leslie Skoll the Air Force is classifying all information about Area 51 in order to protect themselves from a lawsuit. The government invoked the state secrets privilege and petitioned U.S. District Judge Philip Pro to disavow discourse of classified documents or examination of secret witnesses, claiming that this will expose classified information and threaten national security. Judge Pro rejected the government's argument, so President Bill Clinton issued a presidential determination exempting what it called the Air Force operation locations near Groom Lake, Nevada, for environmental discourse laws. Consequently, Pro dismissed the lawsuit due to lack of evidence. Turley appealed to the U.S. Courts of Appeal of the Ninth Circuit on the grounds that the government was abusing its powers to classify materials. Secretary of the Air Force Shelley E. Wynthal filed a brief which stated that discourses of the materials present in the air and water near Groom can reveal military operation capabilities or the nature and scope of classified operations. The Ninth Circuit rejected Turley's appeal, and the United States Supreme Court refused to hear it, putting an end to the complainant's case. The President annually issues a determination continuing the Groom exception, which is the only formal recognition that the government has ever given that Groom Lake is more than simply another part of the Nails complex. An unclassified memo on the safe handling of the F-117 Nighthawk material was posted on the Air Force website in 2005. This discussed the same materials for which the complainants had requested information which the government had claimed was classified. The memo was removed shortly after the journalists became aware of it.
Did you say the F-117 Nighthawk?
Yes.
The spy plane. The Nighthawk.
Yes, the Lockheed F-117 Nighthawk.
Yeah, it's the the famous spy plane from the 90s movies. What was it?
The Broken Arrow?
Broken Arrow was one. Executive Decision with Kurt Russell and Steven Seagal. If you remember that.
Yeah.
I think it was on like the poster of the movie, the Nighthawk.
Yeah, the Nighthawk.
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay.
But I think the most important thing out here is that was those materials they used for the upkeep of the Nighthawk is what these families were trying to get in that lawsuit.
I see.
And the fact that you had 2 people die from exposure to this, possible exposure to this, but yet this base is so top secret, you're not following your own EPA guidelines for it?
Billy stepped in and saved the day?
Billy stepped in and saved his own ass. Billy stepped in and saved Groom Lake's ass.
And that's interesting.
He's not a hero in this. 2 people die potentially of exposure to chemicals that should have been kept and treated the way under the guidelines of the EPA.
Yeah, no, I was being sort of facetious.
I know you were being facetious.
No, I meant in terms of like Billy stepped in and saved the Air Force from having to reveal top secret stuff, essentially.
It's not even top secret. It's what chemicals are you using for this? And why are you not following EPA guidelines?
And you're saying this was the only example that the government stepped in to block a lawsuit like this?
No, they've done it with other lawsuits before.
I thought you just read something that this is the only instance in where
for the U.S. for the military.
I see. Okay. Crazy. Okay, so the case got
dismissed,
thrown out.
Yeah, the United States Supreme Court refused to take it. It's dismissed. 2 people died. The other one's untold suffering if they're not passed away already. So, yeah. what the fuck are you doing there, basically? Just in terms of environmental point, are you endangering the people that work there? And putting environmental hazards to this area even after you'd have gone.
Yeah, I don't know. That just brings even more mystery to Area 51, honestly. Was this declassified in 2013, or did this come out?
It's still every year. They the president, no matter who the president is, signs a decree exempting Area 51 from listing the chemicals that they're using there under EPA guidelines, or following the EPA guidelines for use of the chemicals they may have there.
Which just deepens the mystery surrounding this whole base, honestly.
Yeah, and possibly putting the people who work there in danger.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading here, the people who work at this base.
Yeah.
I have to sign sworn documents saying that they will not talk about the type of work they do at the space.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Maybe more people have gotten sick from the chemicals that they're exposed to, but they just can't talk about it.
Yeah, probably. Oh, man.
All right, you want to get to the juicy stuff?
Yeah, let's get to the nitty-gritty of why Area 51 is so goddamn famous. Supposedly, according to UFOologists and conspiracy theorists around the world, that Area 51 is using classified, captured, unidentified flying objects, or UAVs, trying to reverse engineer them and taking them out and flying them. The storage, one of the things that UFOologists, and some UFOologists and conspiracy theorists believe, that the storage, examination, and reverse engineering of crash area aircraft, including materials supposedly covered from the Roswell incident, the study of their occupants, and the manufacture of aircraft based on alien technology. Also, supposedly, there are meetings and joint meetings with beings from another world, or extraterrestrials, that are happening in Area 51.
We're talking about gray aliens, right?
Gray aliens, green aliens, leptillions, you name it.
Yeah.
Supposedly they're meeting. Also, the development of exotic energy weapons for the Strategic Defense Initiative, or the weapons program. Supposedly they're developing ray guns and lightsabers in Area 51.
So I know I mistakenly brought it up earlier, confusing the two incidents between what happened in Roswell and the story of Area 51. However, was I right in assuming that the materials found at Roswell or at the crash were taken to Area 51 for study?
Yeah. Well, supposedly one of the beliefs is that the crash incident at Roswell, which you can go back on Weekend Weird and listen to that episode and listen to what we thought had happened in Roswell. But supposedly that they taken the crash, that first it was moved out east to Wright Patterson's Air Force Base.
In Ohio.
In Ohio, then to Washington, D.C., and then when they established Area 51, they took it over there to reverse engineer, put it back together, reverse engineer it, and test flight.
I see. Okay.
So yeah, that's one of the theories. So another theory is that they developed weather control. The United States government has the power to control the weather. The development of time travel and teleportation technologies. Development of exotic propulsion systems related to the Aurora program, which we'll get to at a different date. And activities related to the shadowy one world government the NWO, not the NWO of Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. Too sweet? No, not that. But the NWO, One World Government, or the Majestic 12 organization, which again we'll get to on a different time here at We Get Weird. Many hypotheses concern underground facilities at Groom Lake. Includes claims of transcontinental underground railroad system, a disappearing airstrip nicknamed the Cheshire Airstrip after Lewis Carroll's Cheshire Cat, which briefly appears when water is sprayed onto its camouflaged asphalt, and engineering based on alien technology. In the mid-1950s, civilian aircraft flew under 20,000 feet, while military aircraft flew under 40,000 feet. The U-2 spy plane began flying above 60,000 feet, and there were an increasing number of UFO sightings and reports. Sightings occurred mostly often during the early evening hours, where airline pilots flying west saw U-2's silver wings reflected in the setting sun, giving the aircraft a fiery appearance. Many sightings reports came to Air Force's Project Blue Book, which investigated UFO sightings. All throughout, air traffic controllers and letters to the government. The project checked U-2 and later Oxcart's flight records to eliminate the majority of UFO reports they received in the late 50s and early 60s. And throughout, it could not reveal to the letter writers the truth around what they saw. Similarly, veterans of experimental programs such as Oxcart and NERVA at Area 51 agreed that their work inadvertently prompted many of the UFO sightings and other rumors. They also believe that rumors helped maintain the secrecy over Area 51's actual operations.
So what kicked all this off? Like, what incident kicked all the mystery or people's interest in the mystery of Area 51 off?
I mean, there's always been some sort of error of it with the U-2 when it started flying and people started seeing stuff over that area in the Las Vegas area. Mm-hmm. So it's always been that, what's the word I'm looking for? Curiosity, about what was going on over there. So it's not you can point to one major event that had happened that points to what was going on at Area 51.
And why people were so interested.
Yes, why people were so much interested. But there was a slight incident that happened that really started kicking up this conspiracy theory thing, and that is the story of a Mr. Bob Lazar.
Ah, good old Roberts.
Now, you know much about Bob Lazar. What can you fill us in a little bit?
I know he is someone that has come out on record to say that he worked at Area 51, and through his time working there, he himself witnessed aliens, UFOs, and reverse engineering. And he's been telling the same story since the early 80s. I believe he's still alive.
Yes, he is still alive. He is still alive. They actually did a documentary that's on Netflix. It's called Bob Lazar and the UFO?
It's called Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers.
Area 51 Flying Saucers.
Came out 2 years ago.
It's a very good documentary. It's on Netflix right now. I know you have a lot of time on your hands because you're listening to this podcast. But if you have not seen it after this podcast, go on. If you have a Netflix account, go on Netflix and look and watch this documentary. It's a very fascinating documentary about this guy. I don't know if I really believe this guy, what he has to say, what he had said. But let's get into what he had said about Area 51. He achieved notoriety, excuse me, as an Area 51 conspiracy theorist. In May 1989, he appeared in an interview with investigative reporter George Knapp on Las Vegas TV station KLAS under the pseudonym